Uganda workers in the informal sector play a significant role in the economies, yet they face multiple challenges, ranging from lack of legal social protection, harassments by the authorities, and lack clear negotiating counterparts, among others.
Of course, the informal economy is currently the biggest because it's contributing about 89% of the total labor force we have in Uganda. But it's very vulnerable in terms of a representational gap. The informal economy is largely unorganized in as far as they have some small associations, but the associations are not so strong. But when I mean that they are not organized, it's in terms of them being organized belonging to trade unions or to a larger labor movement. They are not organized, and they are facing, and it has been very difficult to organize them. First of all, the legal framework does not really favor, give them the power to organize.
In the informal sector, there are a lot of challenges. They don't have direct employers, and therefore it's difficult for them to negotiate with anyone.
Informal sector workers engage in precarious employment, earning less than their counterparts in formal sector with comparable skills.
My name is Najuma Gloria, a member of Amalgamated Transport and General Workers Union. The most challenge the informal sector is facing in Uganda is the unskilled labor that we are having in this sector. Since everyone who has not got a chance to go to school, who has not got a chance to be educated, wants to join this sector because it gives that comfort to someone that they can be in this sector. Since we are finding most of the workers that we are having, they are not well equipped, they are not well skilled, and they think they can come in this sector. And it has really hindered the fact that we want to formalize it, but just because we have a lot of people that are not educated, it is becoming a hard challenge. And then the other thing, we have the invisibility bit of it. We are not seen as a sector that is contributing to the economy of Uganda. That is a big challenge. We are not incorporated in some of the policies that are brought up by the parliament. It's a big challenge because even look at the Labour Unions Act, the informal sector is left out. So those are the key challenges that we are facing nationally as the informal sector, and I believe through this research we are going to address some of them because we are going to be having the facts and discovering how we can really bring the informal sector to the table.
It is upon this background that Global Labour University, in partnership with Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, is supporting Uganda workers to transform from informal to formal under the Engage Transfer Project.
I'm called Tumishka Jessica, and I'm the president of Workers in Informal Economy Network, WIEN. These vulnerable workers who are not organized into unions, they're the ones we are targeting. They have different challenges of which they don't even know how to approach them and how they can be helped. So after mapping, doing the research on them, seeing their challenges and the problems, then we shall organize them either to form their own unions accordingly, or we shall direct them. We see which unions are already existing, where they fall, where they belong, and then they join the unions.
Warren McGregor is the Global Labour University Engage Transfer Project coordinator in South Africa.
So my name is Warren McGregor. I'm the program coordinator of the Global Labour University at the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, South Africa. Ours at Wits University's program, an international program that links 5 universities around the world. And what we offer are master's degree programs for trade unionists and labour activists that seeks to engage them in the world of work, but also worker responses to that. Privileged enough to travel a bit of Africa, visit with our alumni from the Engage program and from the other GLUE programs as well, so as to create research projects, power resources mapping research projects with our alumni. And these exist for 2 reasons. Number one, essentially, to assist our alumni to try and transfer some of their skills that they learned with us back at the university to their organizations, but also importantly to use the research to develop organizing campaigns. And these organizing campaigns are developed in the hope of trying to close what we call the representational gap, the gap between organized labor on one hand and a growing army of unorganized, vulnerable workers in both the informal, popular and formal sectors. At this workshop, we also decided on which group of unorganized, informal workers that this group will now go and conduct a mapping project on. What they will do is this research team will now venture into Ugandan cities over the next few months and conduct face-to-face interviews with unorganized informal sector workers. They're going to be focusing on waste pickers in Ugandan cities. So they'll be conducting what we call horizontal mapping, but face-to-face interviews with these workers. And what they will then do after that phase is come back together and they will analyze their data and from that develop an organizing campaign that hopefully after presentation to their workers' organizations, this organizing campaign will be put into place so as to ensure the organization of the group of waste pickers that they've researched, as well as other workers who are performing the same kind of work in Uganda.
Under the program, trade union leaders in the informal sector are skilled with additional knowledge and tools to develop strategies to enforce decent work conditions for informal sector workers.
Basically, this workshop was about teaching us the power resources, but also the method of how we can bring the unorganized workers on board and how we can launch an organizing campaign and we make it successful, not just to just understand the problems of the waste pickers, but how can we bring waste pickers on board? How can we get them organized? And not merely getting them organized, but now how can we make them better their lives as workers?
National Organization of Trade Union Chairman General Musa Okello applauded Global Labour University and Friedrich Ebert Stiftung for empowering informal sector trade union leaders through capacity building.
As a leader of the National Organization of Trade Union, very grateful for this effort because it's going to take the workers in that sector another step. And as NOTU, we have in our structures a person who represents people in the informal sector. With this kind of training, we believe that that particular person has been empowered. His participation in the board of NOTU is going to be much better than it has been, but also is going to help mobilize the other members and the workers in the informal sector into the organized labor force.
The Global Labour University Engage Transfer project aims at empowering trade unions with strategies to close the representation gap for informal sector workers.